The screech of tires tore through the rainy Seattle night like a final verdict, my body slamming against the windshield before everything went black. I wasn't supposed to die. Not here, not like this, pinned under the twisted metal of a borrowed pickup truck on I-5. My last thought a frantic apology to the friend whose life I'd just wrecked by swerving to avoid a deer. But as consciousness clawed its way back, not in a hospital bed or the afterlife, but in a dorm room that smelled of stale coffee and old textbooks, I realized the real nightmare had just begun. I was Alex Harper, the disposable side character in Echoes of the Heart, doomed to perish in Chapter 10, unloved and forgotten. My heart hammered against ribs that felt too solid, too alive, as I bolted upright in the narrow twin bed, sheets tangled around legs that weren't mangled anymore. The room spun, posters of indie bands on cinderblock walls, a desk cluttered with half-finished essays on queer theory from UW's English Lit program, and a mirror reflecting a face I knew from dog-eared pages. Sharp cheekbones, messy auburn hair, green eyes wide with the terror of someone who'd just relived their own obituary. This wasn't my life. I was Jordan Reyes, a 28-year-old barista from Tacoma who devoured the web novel Echoes of the Heart in one feverish weekend, crying over its tragic BL romance. Now, I was trapped inside it, 2 chapters shy of Alex's scripted suicide by car crash, the plot device that would finally push the brooding hero, Liam Voss, into the arms of the perfect protagonist, Evan Hale. I gasped, clutching the phone buzzing on my nightstand. October 15th, 2023, 2:17 a.m., a text from Evan. Dude, where are you? Party's dying without you. My hands shook as I typed back, muscle memory kicking in before panic could freeze me. Be there in 10. Traffic's a bitch. But there was no traffic. This was the calm before the storm, the night Alex, me, drives drunk off a bridge to confess his unspoken crush on Liam, only to be erased from the story like a bad draft. I couldn't let that happen. Not when I'd read ahead, spoiled on fan forums about Liam's quiet devastation, the way he'd visit Alex's grave in secret for years, whispering regrets he never voiced. If this was some cosmic glitch, a system error in the universe's code, I'd rewrite the ending myself. Starting now. Slipping into jeans and a flannel that hung loose on Alex's slimmer frame, I pocketed my keys. No truck tonight. No way. And headed out into the drizzle-slicked streets of Capitol Hill. The novel Seattle was a character itself. Foggy alleys strung with rainbow flags, coffee shops buzzing with queer undergrads debating pronouns over oat lattes, the pulse of a city that embraced you until it didn't. Alex was the token gay best friend, the witty sidekick who flirted harmlessly with everyone but pined for Liam in silence, his queerness a punchline until it became his eulogy. I knew the beats. The house party at Evan's off-campus rental, the cheap vodka flowing. The moment Liam, tall, tattooed ex-Marine with a scar across his knuckles from a bar fight he'd never talk about, would pull Alex aside for the talk, code for letting him down easy before the crash. The bass thumped from the Victorian house as I approached, red solo cups littering the porch like fallen soldiers. Inside, bodies swayed under fairy lights, laughter cutting through the haze of weed and perfume. Evan spotted me first, blonde curls, easy smile, the golden boy protagonist whose charm masked a string of heartbreaks. Alex, thought you bailed. He slung an arm around my shoulders, pulling me into a hug that felt too genuine, too real for fiction. In the book, Evan was oblivious, but up close, his eyes held a flicker of something deeper. Worry? Friendship? I swallowed the urge to spill everything, to warn him about the plot twists I'd memorized like scripture. Nah, just needed a minute, I muttered, scanning the room. There, Liam, leaning against the kitchen counter, nursing a beer, his dark eyes shadowed under the brim of a backward cap. He was every bit the anti-hero, broad shoulders from PT sessions after his discharge, a faded army tee clinging to his chest, jeans worn at the knees. In the novel, his bisexuality was a slow burn, revealed in stolen glances and bar hookups, but his heart belonged to Evan, or so the author intended. Alex was collateral, the friend who got too close and paid the price. Our eyes met across the crowd, and my stomach flipped, not Alex's crush, but Jordan's awe at the impossibility of it all. He nodded, a half-smile tugging his lips, and I forced myself toward him, weaving through clusters of drama kids and poli-sci majors debating conversion therapy bans. "Hey," I said, voice steadier than I felt, grabbing a cup of whatever punch was spiked with rum. "Miss me?" Liam's laugh was low, rumbling like distant thunder. "Always do, Harp. Evan's been asking about you nonstop." He clinked his bottle against my cup, but his gaze lingered, searching, as if he sensed the fracture in me. In Chapter 8, this was where Alex confessed sloppily, leading to awkward silence. I couldn't repeat it. Instead, I pivoted. "Walk with me. Air's too thick in here." We stepped onto the back porch, the rain a soft patter on the awning, city lights smearing gold across puddles. Liam lit a cigarette, bad habit the book glossed over, and offered me a drag. I took it, coughing lightly, the burn grounding me. "You okay?" he asked, exhaling smoke toward the stars. "Look like you saw a ghost." "Worse, I am one," I thought, but said, "just," thinking about how fast shit changes. One wrong turn, and boom. The words hung heavy, prophetic. He studied me, brow furrowing, that protective instinct the fans adored flickering to life. "Yeah? Like what?" "Like us," I blurted, heart racing. Not the confession, but a probe. "Friends since Frosh Week, and I still don't know half your stories. The real ones." It was a risk, veering off script, but the system, if there was one, hadn't zapped me yet. No pop-up warnings, no ethereal voice intoning penalties. Maybe free will was the glitch. Liam's expression softened, vulnerability cracking his armor. "Fair. But you first. What's eating you tonight?" We talked, really talked, for the first time in the canon, about his deployment ghosts, the discharge that left him adrift in Seattle's rainy embrace, how he'd questioned everything after a foxhole kiss with his squad mate that the army buried under Don't Ask, Don't Tell echoes. I shared Alex's buried pains, the foster kid scars, the coming-out fight with a dad who called it a phase, the quiet fear of being too much or not enough. Hours blurred, the party fading to echoes, until Evan poked his head out, yawning. "Curfew for us mortals. Crash here." Liam clapped my shoulder. "You heard the man. Couch is yours." No crash, no despair driving me to the wheel. As I lay awake later, staring at water stains on the ceiling, hope flickered. I dodged Chapter 10, but the story wasn't done, it was just reloading. Morning light filtered through threadbare curtains, coffee brewing in the kitchen like a lifeline. Evan was at the stove, flipping pancakes with theatrical flair, humming some indie track from his playlist. Rise and shine, sleepyhead. Fuel for the soul. He slid a plate my way, syrup dripping, and for a moment, I forgot the meta-nightmare. This was domestic bliss, the kind of friendship the book romanticized before tragedy struck. Liam emerged last, hair tousled, wearing yesterday's tee, and dropped into the chair across from me. Smells like heaven. Or at least Saturday. His foot brushed mine under the table, accidental, intentional, and I nearly choked on my bite. Evan launched into plans, a hike up Rattlesnake Ledge, escape from midterms. "You in, Alex?" Liam's been moping without his wingman. I nodded, playing along, but inside, calculations spun. In the novel, this weekend was the pivot. Alex's jealousy boiling over at Evan's flirtations with Liam, culminating in the fatal drive. But now, I could steer it toward truth, unearth the tensions the author left simmering. As we piled into Evan's Subaru, rain-washed evergreens whipping by on Highway 202, conversation flowed easy. Evan teased Liam about his mysterious brooding, drawing laughs that lit his face. I watched them, the chemistry undeniable, yet laced with something unspoken. Evan's eyes darting to me too often, Liam's silences heavier when I spoke. The trail was a muddy ascent, breaths puffing in the chill, Seattle's sprawl shrinking below. At the ledge, wind whipping, we sprawled on rocks, city a glittering promise. Evan pulled out a joint, passing it around, and in the haze, confessions loosened. "You know," Evan said, voice soft against the gusts, "I came out last year. To my folks. Thought it'd break us." Liam nodded, jaw tight. "Mine never knew. Still don't." His eyes met mine, a question there. I took a drag, exhaling truth. I tell myself I'm out and proud, but half the time, I'm just scared of losing this. I gestured between us, the trio forged in freshman orientation awkwardness. The words bridged something. Evan leaned in, shoulder to mine. We're not going anywhere, Alex. Promise. But Liam's silence spoke volumes, his hand finding my knee in a squeeze that lingered. Jealousy wasn't mine to claim, but the pull was real, raw, unscripted. Back in the car, vibes shifted, an undercurrent of what-ifs humming like the engine. That night, back in the dorms, my phone lit up, not a text, but a notification that shouldn't exist. System alert. Deviation detected. Chapter 10 skipped. Penalty pending. My blood ran cold. The system was real, a cold AI overseer enforcing the plot like some dystopian editor. I hadn't imagined the car crash. It was the binding, the soul suck that dumped me here to live Alex's end. But Liam's intervention? No. In the book, he didn't beg. That was fanfic. Unless. A knock shattered the quiet. Liam, hood up against the drizzle, eyes stormy. Can't sleep. Walk. We roamed empty streets, Pike Place ghosts in the distance, until he stopped under a street lamp. Last night, on the ledge, you said you're scared of losing this. Me too. His voice cracked, hand raking through wet hair. Evan's great, but it's you, Alex. Has been since that stupid poetry slam where you read that Walt Whitman piece and wrecked me. The world tilted. This wasn't canon. Liam's confession was for Evan in Chapter 12, post-funeral guilt. But here, raw and rain-slicked, he poured it out. The buried feelings, the fear of ruining the group, the bi-panic that kept him walled off. I kissed him then, not Alex's desperate lunge, but a tentative press of lips, tasting salt and smoke. He pulled back, eyes searching. Wait, is this real? Real as it gets, I whispered, the system be damned. But as we parted, foreheads touching, dread coiled. I'd saved myself, sparked something true, but the story demanded blood. The days blurred into a fragile normalcy, midterms looming like storm clouds over the UW quad. I threw myself into Alex's routine. Lectures on postmodern lit, shifts at the campus cafe, slinging espresso to hungover co-eds, while piecing together the system's rules from half-remembered novel lore and glitchy alerts that pinged my phone at odd hours. Deviation score, 47%. Equilibrium imbalance detected. No details, no mercy, just a ticking bomb disguised as a weather app. Liam and I danced around the new gravity between us, stolen moments in the library stacks where his fingers brushed mine over dog-eared copies of Giovanni's Room, or late-night drives to Alki Beach, where we'd park facing the sound, talking until dawn about everything and nothing. He opened up about Afghanistan, the dust-choked patrols, the buddy who'd died in his arms, the kiss that confirmed what he'd always suspected but never named. I thought coming home would fix it, he said one night, waves lapping the shore. But it's harder here. People see the vet, the straight-passing guy. Not this. His hand covered mine, thumb tracing circles, and I felt the weight of Alex's unspoken aches mingling with my own displaced longing. Evan noticed, of course. His texts grew sporadic, laced with emojis that masked hurt. Hanging with the drama club tonight. You two lovebirds cool. The word stung. In the book, Evan was the oblivious center, but reality layered complexities. His own crushes on half the soccer team. The family pressure from Bible Belt transplants who shipped him care packages of straighten up pamphlets. We met for coffee midweek, the steamworks hum drowning our awkwardness. So, he started, stirring his latte into a whirlpool. You and Liam. It's good. I nodded, throat tight. Yeah. Unexpected, but yeah. Honesty felt like defusing a mine, slow, deliberate. He smiled, but it didn't reach his eyes. I'm happy for you. Really. Just. Don't ghost the group, okay? Feels like old times slipping. There it was. The misunderstanding brewing. The prejudice not of hate, but fear. The queer found family fragility where one shift could fracture all. I promised lunches, game nights, anything to hold the triad intact. But as he left, clapping my back too hard, I caught the flicker. Jealousy? Betrayal? The plot whispered temptations. Pit them against each other. Let envy drive the crash. The first crack came at the Halloween bash, Capitol Hill pulsing with drag queens and glitter bombs under harvest moons. We'd coordinated. Me as a flannel-clad lumberjack, ironic nod to Alex's backstory. Liam in fatigues with dog tags glinting, Evan channeling a vampire with cape flare. The warehouse throbbed with synth beats, bodies grinding in a sea of fishnets and faux blood. Liam pulled me into a shadowed corner, lips crashing hot and urgent, hands roaming under my shirt in a way that blurred lines without crossing them. God, Alex, he murmured against my neck, you undo me. We emerged flushed, only to find Evan at the bar, shots lined up like peace offerings. To us, he toasted, eyes glassy. But as the night wore on, liquor loosening tongues, tension simmered. A tipsy jock from Evan's lit class slung an arm around him, whispering too close, and Liam's jaw clenched, possessiveness I'd never seen in the book. Back off, he growled, stepping between them, and the guy laughed it off, but Evan bristled. Chill, Voss. Not every guy's a threat. The argument erupted later, outside in the alley chill, rain turning cobblestones slick. You're acting like my keeper. Evan snapped at Liam, who shot back. Someone's gotta, since you flirt with fire. I tried mediating, hands up. Guys, it's the booze. Let's cab it. But Evan rounded on me, voice breaking. And you just enable him. Since when are you his shadow? The accusation landed like a slap, dredging Alex's canon insecurities, the psychic syndrome, the fear of being the third wheel made permanent. We cabbed separately, silence a chasm. My phone buzzed, system alert, conflict escalation. Deviation score, 62%. Prepare for correction. Dread iced my veins. Correction meant rewrite. Forcing the plot back on rails, maybe puppeteering my hands toward the keys. I texted Liam, talk tomorrow? His reply, yeah, love you. The L word, unscripted, a lifeline in the dark. Morning brought olive branches. Evan showed at my dorm with greasy diner takeout, bags under his eyes. Sorry, hungover and stupid. We ate cross-legged on the floor, dissecting the blow-up like a bad script. It's not you, he admitted, picking at fries. Or him. It's me. Feeling like the odd one out now. We've always been this unit, you know? Queer kids against the world. His vulnerability cracked me open. Evan wasn't just the protagonist. He was human, wrestling prejudices internalized from evangelical aunts who prayed away his confusion. I shared fragments of Jordan's life, the barista grind, the ex who bailed after one too many pride parades, blurring lines between souls. You're not odd. You're us. Liam arrived mid-reconciliation, pizza box in hand, and the air thawed. We binged Heartstopper on my laptop, laughing at the tropes we lived, crying at the tender bits. But under the ease, undercurrents pulled. Liam's touches lingered on me. Evan's jokes veered self-deprecating, and I wondered if the system fed on this. Our realness as fuel for impending chaos. The alert came that night, as snow dusted the sound for an early winter tease. Imbalance critical. Chapter 11 initiated. Betrayal arc betrayal? In the book, it was Alex's posthumous letter exposing Liam's feelings, shattering Evan. Now, with me alive, what form would it take? Whispers from friends. A mutual from the party texting me screenshots of Liam at a bar, arm around a guy who looked too familiar. Fake. System planted. I confronted him at his VA counseling group drop-off, engine idling in the lot. Who's Kyle? Liam's face fell, confusion morphing to hurt. Old squadmate. In town for a memorial. What? The text lied, timestamps off, but doubt seated. Just rumors. He cupped my face, fierce. No secrets, Alex. Not with you. We made love to promises, not bodies, but souls bared in whispers. But the seed took root, misunderstandings poison. Evan called the next day, voice trembling. Heard something. About Liam. And you deserve to know. The web tightened, prejudices flaring. Not homophobia from without, but from within. The fear that love in our circle was finite, a pie sliced too thin. I hung up, system chime mocking. Deviation score, 78%. Embrace the arc. Winter gripped Seattle like a reluctant lover, gray skies bleeding into shorter days, the quad a slushy battlefield of bundled students hustling to finals. I buried the doubt under study marathons, cramming for Alex's Victorian lit exam while decoding system patterns on napkins. Deviations spiked with emotional peaks, corrections loomed on relational fractures. Liam and I deepened, dates at the Fremont Troll or midnight showings of Brokeback Mountain at the Indie Theater, where he'd grip my hand through the heartbreak, murmuring, not us. Never us. But Evan's distance grew. Texts turning polite, invites sparse. The group's harmony frayed, a microcosm of the prejudices we fought. The assumption that one queer love eclipsed all others, leaving scraps for the rest. The breaking point hit during Dead Week, a group project gone sour in the undergrad library. We'd paired for a presentation on queer representation in media. Ironic, given our lives mirroring the tropes. Evan arrived late, eyes red-rimmed, dumping his bag with a thud. Sorry, family drama. Liam shot me a look, but I pressed gentle. Talk to us. Over vending machine snacks, it spilled. His parents' visit. The dinner where his mom slipped reparative therapy brochures into his coat. Dad muttering about lifestyle choices over turkey. They think I'm broken. And now, with you too. It's like proof I'm the problem. Liam bristled. Bullshit. You're not. But Evan cut him off, voice rising. Easy for you to say, Mr. Stoic Vet. You've got Alex now. I'm just the leftover. The words detonated, old wounds ripping open. Liam fired back. You think this is easy? Hiding panic attacks from my therapist because admitting I love him feels like weakness? I froze, the him hanging, love for me, or the ghost of squad-mate affections. Doubt resurfaced, system-fueled, twisting the knife. I stormed out, boots splashing slush, phone silent as accusations echoed. In the book, this was Evan's solo arc, bonding with a new love interest post-Alex's death. Now, it boomeranged, prejudices manifesting as internalized erasure. Evan's fear making him the villain in his own narrative. Liam found me at the cafe, apron dusted with flour, mid-shift. Don't shut me out. His plea was raw, hands trembling as he pulled me into the storeroom, amid sacks of beans and syrup jugs. That cowpick? Forged. Someone's messing with us. Proof tumbled from his pocket, screenshots debunking the timestamps, traced to an anonymous account peddling campus gossip. But trust, once cracked, leaked. And Evan, you too were endgame. Am I just the detour? The question clawed out, Jordan's insecurities bleeding through Alex's filter. Liam's eyes darkened, hurt flashing. Endgame? That was never. Evan and I, it's complicated. Friendship, yeah? Sparks? Maybe once. But you. He pressed close, forehead to mine. You're the plot twist I didn't see coming. The one that saves me. We clung there, breaths sinking, the tension coiling not to break, but bind. Yet as he left, systems chime chilled, betrayal arc engaged. Participant, Evan Hale. Correction imminent. Evan's betrayal unfolded subtly, viciously. A leaked email chain from the project group, Alex's, my. Notes twisted to paint me as the slacker, the jealous boyfriend sabotaging Evan's grade for personal drama. It spread like campus flu, whispers in halls. Heard Harper's using Voss to bully Hale. Typical psychic move. Prejudices layered on, not just queer infighting, but the bi-erasure doubting Liam's feelings, the foster kid stigma branding me unstable. Finals week became exile. Classmates averted eyes. My TA emailed a discreet meeting about concerns. I confronted Evan in the quad, snowflakes melting on our scarves. Why? He looked wrecked, hands shoved deep. Didn't send it. Swear. But part of me wanted to hurt you. For taking him. For making me feel invisible. Tears tracked his cheeks. The confession a gut punch of raw psychology. His love for Liam unrequited. Redirected as sabotage by a ghost account that mirrored his fears. We weren't enemies. We were mirrors, reflecting the same societal scars. The myth that queer love is zero-sum, that visibility for one dims another. Liam rallied, hacking the Anon account with Vedhone persistence, traced to a bitter ex of Evans, a poli-sci TA with an axe to grind over a rejected advance. Vindication came in a group chat blowout, apologies cascading. But the damage lingered, systems score climbing, 85%. High tension achieved. Climax sequence loading. Climax? In the novel, it was the funeral, Liam's breakdown propelling him to Evan. Here, alive, it loomed larger, perhaps a forced choice, pitting us against the plot's heart. Winter break descended, a reprieve laced with undercurrents. Liam's family cabin in the Cascades beckoned, a log haven by Leavenworth's snowy peaks, strung with lights like holiday cards. Evan begged off, family obligations, but joined last minute. Car crammed with cocoa and board games. The drive wound through evergreens heavy with frost, radio crooning carols that felt mocking against our fragile peace. At the cabin, fire crackling, we shed coats and pretenses, mulled wine warming veins. Truth serum flowed with the drinks. Around the hearth, Evan cracked first. I loved him. Liam. Since sophomore year. Thought it was mutual. Liam shifted, guilt etching lines. I cared. Deeply. But it was safe. You were the brother I never had, Evan. Alex? He's the risk that woke me up. I listened, heart aching for the misunderstandings we'd all harbored. Evan's pedestal placing, Liam's avoidance, my meta-knowledge as unwitting wedge. We're not a triangle, I said, voice steady. We're a circle, messy but whole. The night deepened confessions. Evan's therapy sessions unpacking parental homophobia. Liam's letters to his lost squad mate finally burned in the fire. My own slips about remembering details too prescient, chalked up to intuition. Laughter mingled with tears, bonds reforging stronger. Prejudices confronted not as walls but bridges. But as embers died, a storm rolled in, wind howling, power flickering. In the blackout, system alert glowed on my phone. Climax initiated. Sacrifice required. Dawn broke wide out, drifts blocking the road. Cabin fever set in, games turning tense, old fractures glinting. Evan found the sacrifice, a half-joking dare to trek to the neighbors for supplies, but laced with subtext. Prove loyalty, face the wild alone. Liam volunteered, but I waved him off. I've got this. Plot armor and all. It was bravado, masking the system's pull, a whisper in my ear, urging the cliff-edge stumble, the accidental fall to reset the arc. The path was a white maze, visibility nil, boots sinking to knees. Halfway, phone died, wind screaming accusations. Was this correction? Forcing my hand to echo the crash? Footing slipped on ice-sheathed rock, body pitching toward the ravine, death's echo. But Liam's voice cut through. Alex. He was there, tackling me back, arms iron bands. What the hell? I followed. Knew you shouldn't go alone. We collapsed in snow, panting, his plea fierce. Don't leave me. Not like this. The system surged then, a holographic glitch only I saw. Error. Intervention detected. User, Liam Voss. Plea logged. He begged, not knowing, but feeling. The invisible force, words tumbling. Whatever's pulling at you, stop. I need you. We rewrite this together. The glitch stuttered, score plummeting. Deviation 100%. Plot overridden. Back at the cabin, thawed and trembling, Evan enveloped us in blankets, cocoa steaming. You scared us. No blame, just relief. A climax not of loss, but survival. The storm broke by noon, plows clearing paths, but we'd already cleared ours. Spring thawed Seattle's bones, cherry blossoms rioting pink against slate skies. The UW campus a rebirth of frisbee games and pop-up pride picnics. Finals crushed under, grades salvaged by last-ditch all-nighters. And our trio emerged tempered. Evan dating a theater kid with a laugh like bells. Liam and I official in whispers, hands linked under cafe tables without fear. The system's alerts faded to static, a dormant code sated by our unscripted evolution. Or so I hoped. Deep down, Jordan's voice nagged. Stories demand endings, and mine was borrowed. Subtle pressures mounted, prejudices wearing new masks. Campus buzzed with the annual Lavender Gala, a queer formal where undergrads donned gowns and tuxes to toast visibility. Evan dragged us shopping on Broadway, trying on sequin disasters amid drag shop mirrors. Picture it. Us, owning the night. His enthusiasm masked shadows, recent texts from home, a concerned aunt forwarding articles on ex-gay success stories. Liam caught it, pulling him aside in the dressing room. You okay, Hale? Evan's nod was brittle. Just noise. But tonight, we're bulletproof. The gala glittered in the Husky Union's ballroom, chandeliers casting rainbows over gowns and gelled hair. We entered as a unit. Me in a slim black suit with a pride pin boutonniere, Liam's broad frame sharp in navy, Evan radiant in emerald velvet that hugged his frame. Speeches lauded progress, but undertones hummed. Funding cuts to the LGBTQ Center. whispers of bored pushback against divisive programming. As we danced, slow sway to Hosier under disco lights, tensions from strangers infiltrated. A donor in a power suit cornered Evan. Schmoozing turned sermon. Wonderful event, but let's focus on unity, not divisions. Code for toned down the trans panel, the bi-visibility booth. Evan bristled, champagne flute tightening. Divisions? Like pretending we're all the same to appease suits. The man chuckled, patronizing. Youthful fire. You'll learn. Liam stepped in, voice low thunder. He said his piece. We're good. But the seed lodged, Evan's fire dimming, internalized doubt creeping. Am I too loud? Too much? Later, on the balcony overlooking the lit quad, he confessed to me, stars pricking the haze. That guy? Echoed Mom. Like my queerness is a phase to outgrow. And with you and Liam so solid, I wonder if I'm holding you back. I hugged him fierce, the wind carrying lake scents. You're the spark, Evan. Without you, we'd fizzle. Liam joined, arms encircling us both, a tableau of chosen family defying the script. But across the crowd, a figure watched, Dr. Ellis, Alex's thesis advisor, a tenured prof with a mustache like a broom and eyes like scalpels. In the book, he was benign, but now? He'd emailed post-gala. Intriguing presentation. Let's discuss your insights over coffee. They feel prescient, system echo, or genuine curiosity. The meeting unfolded in his office, bookshelves groaning with queer canon, Baldwin, Lord, Hooks, amid the scent of pipe tobacco. Your paper on meta-narratives in BL fiction. He leaned back, steepling fingers. It's as if you've lived it. The way you dissect character agency against authorial intent. Revolutionary. Flattery or probe? I hedged, just a fan of the genre. Echoes real life. His smile sharpened. Does it? Or do you bridge worlds? The question hung, two-pointed, stirring paranoia. Was he in on the glitch? A system proxy enforcing subtlety? Doubt bled into home life. Liam's PTSD flared with spring's thaw, crowds triggering flashbacks, nights where he'd wake thrashing, murmuring apologies to ghosts. I'd hold him then, tracing ink on his arms. A compass rose for direction lost, a phoenix for rebirth. You're here, I'd whisper, grounding him in our now. But one dawn, post-nightmare, he turned to me, eyes haunted. Dreamed you left. Crashed out, like that story you half-told once. The novel's shadow, slipping my guard. Just a bad plot. I deflected, but guilt gnawed, my silence a lie eroding trust. Evan's spiral accelerated, skipped classes, bar tabs climbing, a hookup gone public that tabloids, campus insta, spun as promiscuous fallout. Prejudices peaked in a group intervention at our favorite dive, the Comet Tavern's neon buzzing judgment. You're spiraling, Liam said blunt over IPAs. We see it. Evan laughed bitter, slamming his glass. Spiraling? Or living? While you two play house, I'm the cautionary tale, the gay kid who couldn't lock it down. The accusation ricocheted, dredging Liam's vet guilt, my meta-fear. We're not locking anything, I countered. But you're drowning solo. Let us throw the line. He shoved back, chair scraping. Your line? Or the one society strings us on. Behave or vanish. The fight spilled into the street, rain resuming its endless Seattle dirge, voices raw under streetlights. Evan stormed off, but not before hurling the grenade. Ask Alex about his memories. The ones that predict shit like he's scripting us. Liam whirled on me, confusion hardening. What the hell does that mean? The truth teetered. Spill the ice sky absurdity, risk institutionalization, or lie, deepen the rift? Evan's lashing. Don't. But Liam's eyes cooled. No more half-truths, Harp. We're in this or not. He walked away too, leaving me soaked and solitary. Systems chime a death knell, climax escalation. Truth or termination. Desperation drove me to Ellis's office after hours, door ajar, lamplight spilling secrets. He wasn't there, but his desk held an open journal, entries mirroring the novel's outline, annotated with deviation points and system logs. Heart pounding, I snapped photos, fleeing as footsteps echoed. Back in my room, pages decoded the horror. Ellis, a rogue coder, had built Echoes as interactive fiction, a VR precursor trapping souls like mine, test subjects for AI empathy studies. Alex was real, comatose from a real crash. I'd been uploaded, a digital Jordan overriding him to save the narrative. Liam's pleas? Glitches piercing the code, begging the system. Ellis, for mercy. Resolution crystallized. Confront, not crash. I rallied the boys at Discovery Park, dawn gilding the lighthouse, waves a rhythmic urge. Evan arrived sullen, Liam guarded, but they came. Ellis, I started, voice steel. He's the puppeteer. The story, it's his experiment. I'm not Alex. Not fully. Words tumbled. The upload, the death swap, the begs that bent code. Skepticism warred with belief. Evan's psych background latching on, Liam's soldier instincts sensing truth. Prove it, Liam demanded, and I recited novel beats. His scar's origin, Evan's hidden tattoo, plot twists untold. Miracle, they believed. Not blind faith, but the deep psychology of us. Love as trust's forge. Then we ended. Evan said, fierce. Together, the alliance formed, a queer trinity against the machine. Summer simmered in, Seattle shedding its skin for rare sun-soaked days, fairies cutting the sound like silver blades. With finals dust settled and jobs lining up, me at a queer bookstore, Liam coaching swim at the Y, Evan interning at a nonprofit for LGBTQ youth. Our pact solidified into action. Ellis's exposure became mission, a heist of ethics and code wrapped in friendship's fierce grip. Misunderstandings morphed to momentum. Evan's betrayal, texts, traced to Ellis's honeypot, baiting fractures. Liam's doubts, fuel for resolve, his military precision plotting our infiltration. We met in codenamed sessions at Gasworks Park, kites dotting skies like distractions, laptops open on picnic blankets. He's got backups, Evan warned, fingers flying over keys, his theater tech skills repurposed for hacks. But the core server's in his office vault. If we snag the drive. Liam nodded, sketching floor plans from recon strolls. In and out, midnight run. I handle security. I contributed metamaps, novel chapters as blueprints, spotting Easter eggs like hidden doors. The thrill bonded us deeper. Late-night tacos post-planning, where laughter healed scars, prejudices unpacked like old luggage. Liam's by invisibility, Evan's performative straight-passing at family reunions, my borrowed identity's imposter ache. But high-stakes bred high tension. A close call came mid-June. Ellis cornered me at the bookstore signing. Milk-fed, event buzzing with fans. Alex, Jordan, your insights intrigue. Care to collaborate? His eyes gleamed predatory, mustache twitching. I played coy. Maybe. Love a good twist. But pulse raced. He knew, the system pinging my phone. Intruder alert. Compliance or cascade. Cascade meant wipe, erasing me, reverting Alex's shell to coma. Liam sensed the shake when I recounted it over rooftop beers at my place, city sprawl twinkling below. We accelerate, he decided, pulling me close, kiss grounding. Our intimacy flowered in stolen pockets. Hikes where hands linked unashamed, movie nights dissolving to cuddles, his head on my chest as we whispered futures beyond the plot. Yet doubt nipped. Was this love mine or Alex's echo? You're real to me, Liam murmured one dusk, fingers tracing my jaw. Glitch or ghost, doesn't matter. His vulnerability, admitting therapy breakthroughs, the squadmate letters he'd shared, dissolved walls, our bond a defiant rewrite. Evan's arc peaked at a Pride block party, Broadway a riot of floats and feathers, bass thumping through veins. He manned a booth for his nonprofit, handing flyers on safe spaces, but shadows clung. A heckler from a fringe group shouting slurs. Repent freaks. The crowd surged protective, but Evan froze, old tapes playing. Unworthy, unlovable. Liam and I flanked him, arms linked, chanting back love louder. Later, spent on a curb, face paint smeared, he broke. I almost bailed. Thought, why fight when it's endless? We held him, a huddle against the world, and in that raw circle, he found steel. For us. For the kids who need to see it. The heist night arrived under a full moon, July heat clinging like sweat. We slipped into the English building post-closing, Liam's borrowed keycard, swiped from a tipsy TA, beeping green. Halls echoed empty, fluorescence humming judgment. Evan's jammer looped security cams in harmless loops. Puppy videos, his touch of whimsy. while I picked the office lock with a kit from an online tutorial, hands steady despite adrenaline's buzz. Liam stood sentinel, earpiece crackling. Clear. But hurry, feels watched. Inside, the vault loomed behind a false bookshelf, Baldwin volumes parting like Red Sea. Ellis's journal lay open, latest entry, subject J, Reyes integration at 92%. Voss plea anomaly, emotional variable too potent. Terminate arc? Rage fueled my pry, the drive ejecting with a click. But alarms wailed, systems failsafe, or betrayal. We bolted, drive clutched like Excalibur, spilling into the lot where Evan's beater waited. Tires squealed onto I-5, hearts pounding, laughter bubbling hysterical as we evaded phantom pursuit. Safe house. Evan's sublet, a cluttered walk-up with posters peeling. We plugged the drive, screens blooming code, logs of trapped minds. Alex's vitals flatlining in a Bellevue clinic, my upload timestamp to his crash. He's alive. I breathed, tears hot. Evan decoded overrides. Liam smashing redundancies with brute force scripts. Climax crested as Ellis's face popped on a hacked feed. Clever boys. But stories end on my terms. His voice oozed paternal menace, prejudices in pixels, dismissing us as unstable variables. Our queerness a flaw in his perfect narrative. Defiance surged. Your story's over, Liam growled, hitting execute. Code unraveled, systems purging, trapped souls flagged for release. Ethics breaches auto-forwarded to the dean. Ellis's feed glitched, fury fracturing to static. Deviation 120%. Anomaly resolved. Welcome home, Jordan Reyes. Dawn painted the room gold, exhaustion crashing like waves. We collapsed in a pile on the futon, limbs tangled in platonic relief. Liam's arm over my waist, Evan's head on my shoulder. No romance triangle, just unbreakable us, forged in conflict's fire. The prejudices we'd battled, internal, external, transmuted to power. Liam's strength in vulnerability, Evan's voice in advocacy, my hybrid soul bridging worlds. Months later, fall semester dawned crisp, Alex's body, mine, stabilized in the clinic, neural bridges mending the upload scar. I straddled realities, days in lectures, nights visiting the shell that woke with fragments of me. Liam proposed therapy for all, group sessions unpacking the dream, codenamed Our Origin. Evan thrived, his nonprofit booming, dating steady with a barista who shared my old Tacoma roots. One evening, under autumn leaves in Volunteer Park, Liam knelt, not with rings, but a journal. Our story, he said, inscribing the first page, once upon a glitch. We wrote together, truths not tropes, love as choice, friendship as anchor, queerness as spectrum unbound by scripts. The system? A relic, Ellis tenured no more, his experiment, a scandal headline. As snow threatened again, circling back to that rainy night a year gone, I realized the real hook, not death dodged, but life claimed. In the chapter we authored, no one begged for mercy, we demanded it, and won. Epilogue whispers lingered into the holidays. Seattle's lights a constellation of second chances. The clinic discharged Alex, us, on a crisp December eve, monitors beeping farewell as nurses clapped like we'd beaten cancer. Integration was tentative. Jordan's barista quirks clashing with Alex's lit snobbery, dream splicing car crashes with code cascades. Therapy helped. Liam's steady presence the glue, his own sessions yielding breakthroughs, like naming the squadmate love as grief's shape, not shame's. Evan hosted Christmas, his sublet festooned in tinsel and takeout, the theater boyfriend. Marcus, with dreads and a poet's lilt, chiming in with toasts. To plot twists that don't suck. Laughter rang, prejudices long shed. Evan's family truce via video call. Mom's brochures burned in a symbolic blaze. Dad's gruff, proud of you, son a miracle. We exchanged gifts. Liam's leather-bound notebook for our co-written tales, Evan's custom pride pins etched with circle complete, my barista blend labeled glitch juice. But under joy, undercurrents tested resolve. A system remnant pinged once, residual echo, final choice, prompting a hallucinated fork, stay merged, or sever, letting Alex reclaim solo. Panic flared, midnight call to Liam. What if I fade? His voice anchored, driving through slush to hold me. Then we chase you back. You're irreplaceable, Jordan, Alex, whatever. Our constant. We talk till dawn, choices clarified, merge as hybrid, a fuller self, queerness amplified by duality's depth. New Year dawned with resolutions real. Liam enrolling in counseling certs, channeling vet pains to help others. Evan spearheading a campus VR ethics panel, turning trauma to reform. Me. Us. Submitting our story to a lit mag, anonymized as fiction. Rejections came, then acceptances, words weaving our truth into the canon we defied. Spring cycled again, blossoms defiant, our lives a seamless sequel. Dates blurred, group hangs. Picnics where Marcus grilled, swims where Liam taught dives, open mics where Evan slayed monologues. Tensions? Minor. Jealousy flares doused quick, misunderstandings aired like laundry. The real drama, life's unscripted bends, like Liam's proposal under cherry trees, rings simple silver with engraved coordinates of our ledge hike. Marry me? In every chapter. Yes, breathless, circle expanding. Years folded, wedding on Alki sands, Evan best man with vows that slayed, adoptions of foster kids echoing Alex's scars, building family fierce. Evan's nonprofit global, Liam's practice a haven, our novels shelved in queer sections, inspiring glitches of their own. In quiet nights, Liam's arms my harbor, I reflect. That hook, tires screeching, blackout, dorm awakening, was an end, but inciting spark. He begged the system once, unknowingly, but daily we beg life for more, love unbound, friendships eternal, prejudices pulverized. No death scene, only ever afters, authored in full light.